Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking again about the zither and fun and different tunings that you can use on it. Today we're going to be covering modes, which are basically 7 different ways that you can tune a scale to sound new and interesting. You can even play familiar songs with these new notes and make them sound a little bit different. It's a lot of fun. So to start with, we'll cover the Ionian Scale, which is also your basic major scale. So it sounds like this. And mine is tuned to D major, so it starts with D, it ends with D, and you've got all your usual major scale steps in between. Now this next mode is called Dorian. And how you get there from the major scale is you tune your 7th and your 3rd steps of the scale down 1/2 step. So on my instrument tuned in D major, I have tuned the F sharp down to an F and the C sharp down to a C. And here's how that ends up sounding. It definitely has a different flavor. It sounds kind of unresolved. Those whole steps between the 7th and the tonic just make it really kind of floaty to me. Next we have the Phrygian mode. And this one definitely sounds a little darker. In a more minor kind of a key. To get here, you take the 2nd and the 6th notes of the previous scale we were using, the Dorian mode, and you lower those by 1/2 step. So now we have 4 notes lowered a 1/2 step from our major scale. And this is how that sounds. So it still maintains that floaty kind of quality, but you can hear that minor sound, that kind of darkness in it. So that sounds really interesting and could be really fun to use with some more minor songs, like maybe Green Sleeves, for example. This mode is called the Lydian mode. It's also really easy to reach from your major scale. All you need to do is raise your 4th step 1/2 upwards. So in my D major scale, I now have a G sharp. And here's what that sounds like. And it does have that major scale sound to it, but it also kind of reminds me of the whole tone scale. It's got that kind of lilting bit in the middle. So I love how it sounds floaty and free. This next mode is called Mixolydian. It's another major mode, so it does sound more uplifting, happy, cheerful. The only difference here is that the 7th note is lowered 1/2 step. So here's what it sounds like. So it's a very interesting sounding scale, but it's only a little bit different from your major scale. So this is a fun one to use if you're just wanting to change things up a little bit, but not be too different. Now this one is the Aeolian mode, which many of you will know as the natural minor scale. It does sound very familiar. And how to arrive there from your major scale is you lower the 7th and the 3rd, as well as the 6th. So here's how that scale sounds. And I'm sure you find that very familiar. The minor scale is used pretty often in folk music and really in any kind of music that you'll find. And last, I'd like to play for you the Locrian mode. This is often called the diminished mode because it does have a fun tritone in it. So it sounds kind of neat. The way to get to this mode is actually pretty easy. You just flat everything except for your tonic and the fourth note of the scale. Otherwise, everything goes 1/2 step flat. And here's how that sounds. So that definitely has a neat sound to it, but it can be a little discordant and dissonant, which can be really fun depending on what you're playing. Maybe a horror movie soundtrack or something like that. So I hope that learning about the modes and how you can play around with them on your zither has helped you, and you can do some fun stuff now. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you so much for watching.